Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well. Today is March 15th. Yesterday, Saturday, the 14th, got together with friend Justin Grayson, went and videoed his layout. Had a good time talking to him. I'm putting this out right now because I was trying to edit the video, and there's a couple oops moments we had when I was videoing. I'm still learning this gimbal. I think I had it out of balance a couple times with my microphone receiver. So you will see in the video where it kind of flipped on me. And then just like any other time, if you're a model railroader, you know gremlins show up. It happened a couple times yesterday. We still had fun. I really appreciate Justin opening up his layout for myself and Marvin to come visit with him. And in the interest of time, knowing I'm going to have a busy week, I'm not going to try to edit this video as much because I just looked at it. It's not super bad. It could be better. So I'm apologize to Justin for not editing that part out. He has a great layout. You will see here in a moment once I get this thing together. But hope everybody's having a good night. And hey, it's windy here in Indiana. So hunker down. Hopefully we don't have any craziness tonight. You know, we don't need any houses blowing away or anything. Let's get to the video. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all of you who watch my videos. Have a good evening. Hey everybody, I'm on the south side of Indianapolis and I finally caught up with my friend Justin Grayson. I've been wanting to video his layout for the longest. This guy's a fantastic modeler, and you will see what I'm talking about here in a second. So, here's Justin.
Going on, folks.
Okay, here's Justin.
Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be with you today. Glad to be hanging out with Uncle Pedro on this evening. Or this afternoon, I should say. It's not evening yet. But just say this is my layout. A lot of folks have seen it on Facebook and a lot of model railroading pages. Yes, this is what I've been working on for the past almost 6 years now. So it's been a labor of love, best hobby in the world. It's been since, learned a lot, met a lot of good people through it and using this, and just glad to be here. Glad to share with you today.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your layout and what inspired it and things
right.
like that.
Like I said, this is what I call the Norfolk Southern Lafayette Altamont District. This kind of loosely models about 3.5 miles of the Norfolk Southern Frankfort District on the south side of Lafayette from about I-65, Veterans Memorial Parkway, all the way west to, let's say, Beck Lane in south side Lafayette. Basically have traffic that runs from Lafayette South Yard to the Altamont area, which is long abandoned, but this is what the area mostly looks like, with the exception of the modern signals. Traffic moves from Lafayette South Yard, interchanges with Conrail over here in Altamont, and from Altamont, we run south along the former Big Four line down to Clarksville, Indiana, through some of this iconic street running that a lot of folks have seen and are very familiar with as well. I call this layout probably a point-to-point layout. So we go from basically one yard to another yard, and from that yard, we service all the industries along the line that need to be serviced. And on the return trip to Lafayette South Yard, just gives a lot of opportunities for operations and just, it's a lot of prototypical, slow-moving freight movements as well.
So, now I lost my thought. That's what I get for anyway. What do you like most about doing model railroading?
A lot of things, actually. Even just from the basic starting, the bench work. One of my favorite things starting out was just doing track work. Just taking your time, just the slow, methodical following. In this case, since this is a prototypical yard, it wasn't a lot of thinking about it, but just the slow, carefully laying my track and make sure everything, all your electrical connections are absolutely perfect to the extent possible in this hobby. Nothing's perfect. One thing I kind of got into as I was building this was scenery. Right, about before I started building this layout, I couldn't ballast track or do ground cover to save my life. But it's one of those things that the more and more you did it, the more and more you practiced, the more you're able to relax doing it, just the better I got at it. And I'm pretty proud with a lot of the end results with it as well. Some places I think I kind of overdid it, but for the majority of it, everything worked out really, really well. And also I love about that section of the hobby, especially landscaping, it's very forgiving. So if you've messed something up, it's easy just to scrape it off and try again. Keep on going until you get it right.
Yeah, so what are the actual dimensions of your layout?
Okay, so it's kind of a big M shape with the center spoke kind of offset to one side. So it's basically about 22 feet by 22 feet by 22 feet on the other side. And the center peninsula is roughly, if I can remember correctly, 52 inches wide and 15 foot long.
Okay. And he also is representing when the train ran down the street in Lafayette, Indiana.
Yep, downtown Lafayette. Kind of modeled a few blocks of downtown Lafayette along 5th Street. We have crossings on the north side across Main Street, then we have Columbia Street, and then South Street at the end here.
Okay, my gimbal decided to do something goofy because of mine. And
Take a look around, you probably get a better
we're
angle.
gonna walk around that way.
Oh, definitely.
This, when I met him a couple of years ago, man, I fell in love with this layout. It was really nice.
Well, a lot of this, when you first time remember when you came over for the convention,
Yes.
this side, the Clarks Hill side, I had just started building this. And then this went together a lot quicker for its size than any other section of layout. Since I think this side of the peninsula was the last section of layout I really built. So by then, all the lessons learned, all the mistakes made doing the rest of the layout, this seemed like it just snapped together within a couple months. And it was a lot longer. It took me about a couple months just to get Lafayette South Yard right. So be able to do this much of that quickly, from bare bench work to finished ground cover, was really amazing.
And he's got lights flashing and things of that sort. And it's just a great piece of work he done. Can we see some trains running?
Let's do some trains running. We'll start over here. You see anything here? I'll put this. Let me clip on here. All right. Hopefully, I'm not blasting anybody's ears out. But let's get some trains running. Let's start over here in Clarks Hill, so we can see get some trains running down the middle of downtown Lafayette over here.
The other guy walking around in the video is Marvin. And say hi, Marvin. Eventually, I will have a video of his layout. He has another fantastic layout.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna hook these two consists up out here. They're in the ADM plant.
So Justin, you mostly run Atlas and
Yeah, Atlas and Athearn products. Yeah, these two are old school Proto 2000s. But all the newer stuff is either Atlas or Athearn.
have you had any issues?
Not at all.
Sent them back for repairs or anything?
No, I really haven't. Like a lot of these engines have been really, really well behaved.
Good.
And so a lot of them are I think a lot of them is just, excuse me, didn't mean to get in your way. It's just a lot of, just maintenance on them, just at least oil them. There's a couple of them I know that need some. They're about due for a PM, but so I never really run my engines fast either. They're just, well, on this layout, there's so much switching, so much stuff is right on top of each other. And so I do maybe about 25 skid miles an hour, maybe. So I really don't beat up on them, and they tend to seem like they appreciate that through their performance here.
So all your turnouts are, I'm sorry, was it Pico?
Yeah, everything is Pico except for two turnouts over here at the back of Altamont.
Now, I don't have Marvin mic'd, and hopefully people heard what he said. It's pretty quiet in here, so there's a couple engines putting out sound, so you should have heard his questions. I'm glad he's asking them, so I'm not straight in my brain to come up with something, because I didn't bring my list of questions that I normally have with me.
And your track code?
Code 100.
Code 100.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Code 100.
Wow, how'd you find all the code 100s?
Well, got vast, and I'd say about 96% of everything you see out here came out of the Train Exchange, the Jim Thompson shop in Kokomo.
Okay.
And he said he keeps a huge selection of just track accessories, buildings, cars, anything you need. I would say this is one thing I love. Now this is a shameless plug, but they love the shop. And so like no, there's not too many hobby shops where you can build a layout from scratch, and his is one of them. I'm really glad for his help and friendship in this journey as well.
Yeah, it seems like it's a limited supply of the cold wire track. That's what I was asking you the question.
So I always tell folks, always support your brick and mortar hobby shops. I know Amazon is tempting, but to the extent possible, support your brick and mortar hobby shops. We're losing them every year, more and more of them.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. 100%.
Here, let me slide around behind you here. Oh, let's see. Trying to think, make sure we're lined up the way we're usually lined up.
I just wanted to get down, and I'm gonna go back around the other way, catch it coming around.
Yeah, it's real nicely detailed, man. It's real nice.
Well, thank you. So down there in Poland Hill, that's the last section to be landscaped. I'm thinking about, I kind of backed off of it when I was originally doing it, because I kind of want to cut 9th Street, just for what I can do, just at a small angle here. So I think I'm gonna pull up all this and just do that section of street real quick and just make that look kind of prototypical, kind of, quote unquote.
And you are using Digitrack operating system.
Yes, the Digitrack Evolution series. But I do need to install LocalNet on here to be able to, now that we're kind of at a substantially complete part of the construction process, having layout set to operate more than one person, one operator, which of course doesn't matter what happens or where we are, there always is a gremlin.
Yep.
And
It
so
happens. We understand.
not
I
sure,
definitely understand.
and not sure, and that's, well, of course you're going to do that. Give me a second here, let me find out where my problem is.
Okay.
Because everything looks
We're
awesome.
back running.
Worked for RJ Corbin for a little while, so that kind of stuff is second nature to us. All right, layout, please don't embarrass me again in front of everybody. Going across 18th Street. Get those signals up and running at some point. A lot of these stuff I already had the parts for. So once I got the layout, especially the DCC side of it, complete and up and running, a lot of the building stopped and more of the train running began.
Yeah.
It was like, it's a lot of time to come out here with the intention of doing a lot of, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna work on this, let's get this up and running. I'll walk past one of these locomotives. I'm like, yeah, we'll just do that later.
I know the feeling. It happens a lot.
So Justin, you find the operations is
Yes.
what you enjoy.
Yep.
Enjoy the most. So
And so I always enjoy building the layout, but the operations, that's kind of my thing. I would say more casual operations. So having worked for the railroad where everything has to be, there's always a time crunch. This has to be there somewhere else by a certain amount of time. Be able to do the exact same stuff in the real world, that I do in the real world, and just so much more of a laid back environment. That's kind of fun. That's I take away the most of it.
what was your degree in Purdue?
My degree is in organizational leadership and computer technology information systems.
I was trying to see if you was electrical engineer.
Oh, no. Thought about it at one point when I was a computer geek back then, and having done all having had careers in both sides of what I majored in, yeah, it's just people and offices. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, so I figured I'd rather go out to be out in the middle of 2 degree below zero weather, fishing locomotives out of rivers.
So what's the percentage of your railroad? Is it 75% completed, 90%?
I'd say probably about probably like lower 90s, because like a lot of the other stuff I need just to buckle down and get done. I think one of the major things, other than putting in the crossing gates, is making all the signals that you see are out there. They're on. They all are wired to be operational and talk to each other. Just haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I like the way you set this up for the operation.
Well, thank you. It's like usually when I bring trains in from Clarks Hill, Norfolk Southern already has another train waiting on us, but I built this one to head into Lafayette earlier today, so we're going to take another train that we'll say goes to Avon, Indiana, to the Big 4 Yard in Avon. We'll take that through town, back the way we came, and just park it over in Clarks Hill. Or at least nothing else, so we'll store these cars in the sidings in Clarks Hill. So what we'll do is we'll run around this train through Altamont Junction. Get on the crossover over here. I think that's mostly prototypical. Hey, I think it is. Yeah, these are only 2 engines on the layout right now that don't have sound on them, which love sound locomotives. That's all mine are kind of turned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like love the sound, but sometimes it's like it could be, especially when you have a lot of them on your layout running at once.
It can be annoying.
It gets to be annoying. No, I'm not saying anything about anybody who likes to run their engines loud, but
Right.
I like having my engine noise to be HO scale as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to each his own. I mean, it's your layout. You do your thing.
No, absolutely. Please don't embarrass me on that curve again. All right, bet. So we'll just back into the yard here. We'll grab that one. Now, Altamont was really, really fun to build. So having met a few guys that have worked these interchange tracks back in the late Penn Central, early Conrail days, it was kind of always good to listen to some of the stories that these guys had, especially the tower operator that was at QN Tower. Listening to some of the stories between the tower operator at QN Tower and the tower operator at Lafayette Junction, kind of gave this a whole new flavor as far as what used to really go on out here. So it's like you're almost experiencing what they living through them as well.
Figure out what is doing that. We had to flip again.
Why? Something is. Metal wheels will do that. They sound better, they run better. But yeah, well, one of those flanges gets off the track. Yeah, we'll let you know about it.
So all these wheels metal now?
Yeah, everything is metal. Only thing a lot of these cars need are just to have KDs put in, because looking down the length of this train, I see about 2 or 3 different brands of couplers, from KD 146s all the way to the least popular Atlas ones that come with their new equipment. Let's see, for the sake of prototypically here.
You set the signal.
Yeah. I don't think it would look bad seeing an engine run a red signal, so let's go ahead and just hang this one for them.
So that Conrail, is that Atlas too?
Yeah, that's Walther's Proto 2000.
Okay.
So eventually, this will do this on its own. Let's have to put the block detector under this block here.
So you got a sensor there?
Yeah. That's actually having this is one of those things that just haven't done yet. And seriously, I think, especially with existing tracks, with existing drop leads on there on your track as well. For me, the way I do them, I just cut out a section of the drop lead and put another section around the magnet and the block detector and just splice it back together and connect some power to it. It comes right back on, and your signal's doing real typical signal stuff. This block here from Concord Road down to the end of Altamont, down to the end of Clark's Hill, that entire block is under that street running. So I'm have to be a little more strategic in where I put my block detectors on that.
Yeah, I like the way you planned this layout.
Thank you.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is the traffic signal preemption here at 5th and Columbia. When the train shunts the crossing signal circuit, the crossing signal circuit takes over the traffic signal controller and flashes the traffic lights red across Columbia Street and yellow along 5th Street.
Now, did you just design this on paper, or did you just, I'm just gonna just go from my brain and just start planning out the framing and the woodworking and the track work?
Well, I would say, the Lafayette South Yard and I guess the outer perimeter of the layout was already, that was prototypical. So, that was pretty easy to build off of pictures and diagrams and whatnot. This center part, this was you talk about planning at the last minute. Because originally I wasn't going to do street running. This was going to be another switching district with a number of industries I could back cars in and out of. But I couldn't get the curve from Concord Road to kind of fit the radius I needed. So it's either if it's going to be way too wide and take up too much space to go to the outside of the peninsula, but it's going to be too tight, but it had the right amount of space on the inside. So only real option I have was to run it down the middle. Like, well, let's just run it down the middle. If you're going to run it down the middle, let's just put it directly in the middle, build a street around it, and just have some street running.
Yeah, the last minute add-ons are typical.
Yeah. That's worked out a lot better than I thought it was. That 7 feet of layout is what most folks are familiar with, this layout, with my layout here. So in this intersection I did probably about a month and a half ago. Another pair of Walther's 4-way hanging traffic lights. Similar system. Once the train shunts the crossing signal circuit, these lights, they'll hold a 4-way stop solidly without flashing while the signals are in operation. Yeah, and that little tank car is giving me the blues here. Yeah, call RJ Corman out again. Got another one. Yeah, that guy's gonna go on the workbench. Because the one right behind it bought both of those at the same time. The one behind it, you never have any issues out of it.
Oh, well, it happens.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so he'll either go back in his box or get everything just completely replaced on it. Yeah, but that's the end of the layout there. So what we'll probably do is, let's back this off of. We'll back it off here. Make sure, I know a lot of folks switch, decouple their cars with the small,
Skewers.
the small skewers. Yeah, I just pick them up by the side of the truck frames and a quick lift up and there's barely enough space under there to pull those points. As I always run small locomotives over here in Clark's Hill just for that purpose. So usually, I prefer to run a couple of GP15s. I have a couple of Conrail GP15s from Athearn Genesis that haven't been built yet. But when that run starts, I'll have a new set of small engines over here. Don't get me wrong, love my old schools, but I've always loved those little GP15s.
Yeah. Well, in the interest of trying to keep my video under 25 minutes, I mean, I appreciate you letting me video this.
Oh, not a problem.
To come down here and
Not a problem at all.
thanks a lot, man, for opening it up. This
Nope.
is really cool. I'm telling you, folks, he's a good modeler, good model railroader.
I try.
Knows what he's doing.
Oh.
Even though he's a Purdue fan, we'll overlook that.
That's all right. I know what I'm doing most of the time. I can make it seem like I know what I'm doing. Just like I tell folks that kind of mentor in the hobby though too. Is like made a lot of mistakes, blew up, like spent a lot of money on some expensive mistakes trying to be smarter than the manufacturer. But once you just go ahead and just start doing what the instructions tell you to do, it's a lot cheaper that way.
Good piece of advice. And we're going to end this video on that. Thanks again, Justin. I
No problem.
appreciate it.
Glad you guys came through.